Welcome to episode 5 of season 2 of FountainCast, a bi-weekly podcast brought to you by the Fountain Hills Chamber of Commerce, striving to be your one-stop fountain of information regarding your local business community here in Fountain Hills. I'm your host, Hannah Toth, and today we have special co-host, Kristin Milashoski. And be sure to stay tuned after this episode where we'll go over the upcoming chamber events. Today's episode, we'll be speaking with board member Vicky Derksen from the Fountain Hills Dark Sky Association and the Dark Skies Discovery Center. Fountain Hills takes so much pride in its designation as a dark skies community, and we are so excited to learn more about what business owners can do to support dark skies and leverage this unique part of our community to their benefit. Vicky, Kristin, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hannah.
Well, we are so excited. I'm going to let Kristin start off our conversation as our special co-host for the day.
Vicky, such a great opportunity for me to be part of this conversation today. Maybe you could start off by sharing a bit more about what it means for Fountain Hills to be a dark sky community.
Actually, it's a really prestigious designation, especially because we're right next to a big metro area. That's very unusual for dark sky communities. You might think of places like Sedona or Oak Creek Canyon. You know, there are smaller communities. They're definitely not next to a huge metro area. So it's very, very special that we got that. We're the 17th International Dark Sky Community out of many around the whole world. And so it's special to us because people who live in Phoenix don't have to drive very far to get some pretty good dark skies.
Yeah, I've also heard that there's a personal health benefit or two to living in a dark skies community. Could you dive into those?
I don't know that I would necessarily say just because you live in a dark sky community, but there are health benefits to protecting yourself from artificial light at night in general.
Okay.
And so anybody can put some of these things into practice, even if they live in a metro area. They found that, you know, they talk about the blue light that emits from your screen on your devices. We all have been hearing that that's not good for your health.
Right.
Disrupts your sleep patterns and all of that. But light pollution can do the same thing. But it's a little more mischievous because we're so used to it, we don't notice that it's doing that to us. So if you're in an area where you have a street light shining through your window all night long, that can create problems for you. Even if you think you're sleeping well, it is disrupting your sleep. And so it disrupts what we call the circadian rhythm. That's your 24-hour rhythm and the hormones that get released that make you sleepy so you can sleep. And it can cause behavior problems in kids. It can create mood disorders for anybody of any age. And they're actually finding that artificial light at night and light pollution can also increase our risk for different kinds of cancers.
Oh, wow.
So it's best to shut it down at night. Close the curtains, go inside. Well, no, that's not true. We want to go out and look at the stars.
Yeah, we got to see the stars.
Yes. Very, very true. So the Dark Sky Discovery Center, it's really such a unique, exciting project. Could you please tell us a little bit more about the developments and what it's going to bring to Fountain Hills and all the excitement surrounding it?
Sure, but let me back up just a little bit. So before that was even an idea, we had the Fountain Hills Dark Sky Association. And that's the organization that gave us our designation. They're the ones that worked with the town officials, and we had to update some lighting codes before we qualified as a dark sky community. So that organization existed first. And in January of 2018, we received our official designation as a dark sky community. So then we had our first Dark Sky Festival. And then the board was like, what could we do with this? You know, something cool other than just a festival every year. I mean, the festival is really cool, but what could we do with that? Could we build an observatory out here? So that was the first idea, was we're going to build this, put this little telescope out in a little dome, maybe over in the corner of the parking lot by the library. And the idea kind of kept growing and growing and growing. And today we're at over 25,000 square feet, where we're going to have a 27-inch telescope. That means the mirror is 27 inches across.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And it's research grade, but we're going to have it also open to the public, which is unusual for public to get to go and see something like that, especially here. There isn't anything in Phoenix. We're going to have a planetarium so people can sit under a tilted dome and travel out into the universe. We're going to have a theater so we can do a lot of presentations and lectures and things like that. And then what I've been enjoying working on is a hands-on interactive immersion zone. So, some people might think of it as an exhibit hall. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to be way more than just exhibits. So that's where we are, and we're really excited. We've come a long way. We're still working on fundraising. We need $25 million to put a shovel in the ground, and we're about a third of the way there. So if anybody knows somebody who would like to have their name on this facility, we're looking for people like that.
Wonderful. Very exciting. It's going to bring so much to our community and really to people all over the Phoenix metro area. Our schools, area schools, and even, tourism into the community.
For sure. Tourism will be a big part of it. We've already had a lot of communication with ASU, the Maricopa County colleges, and then, of course, the high school here could probably bring in a really cool program for their students, too.
Wow, how exciting. The possibilities are truly endless.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So you've told us about the Dark Skies Association. You've told us about the Dark Sky Discovery Center. But what about your personal roles within those groups? Could you dive into what you do for them?
Sure. So right now I am the president of the Fountain Hills Dark Sky Association, and we, as a board, just launched into our initial planning stages for the festival for 2023. March 25th, 2023, you guys can put that on your calendars. So we just launched into the planning and who's going to do what. And we also just received a $25,000 grant for the festival.
Wow.
From the town of Fountain Hills, actually through the Arizona Office of Tourism. Yes, thank you. And so we're excited about that. That's going to help us bring in a keynote speaker that will draw in even more people, and a really cool, big, family-friendly activity for people to participate in. And then on the other board, I serve on the International Dark Sky Discovery Center board as a board member.
That is fantastic. Your involvement in this, you can feel the passion coming off of you. It's incredible. So
you can, Hannah, to that note, you can, feel your passion about it. And what really drives you, what personal motivators, help you to be so passionate about all of this?
The funny thing is I grew up in northern Idaho, and I can remember as a kid going outside at night and seeing the Milky Way overhead. That's just what I saw. I thought everybody in the world saw the Milky Way. And then I moved to Phoenix. And I was like, where did the stars go? And so I was pretty happy a couple years later when I moved to Fountain Hills. And my kids were born here, raised them here, and I remember just thinking to myself, I grew up under the Milky Way, and I saw sometimes the Northern Lights, but I saw the Milky Way all the time, and I could tell you one constellation, the Big Dipper. That was it. That was it. And I remember after my kids were born, and they were starting to get into the age where, maybe going outside and hanging out in nature wasn't quite so cool anymore, and I wanted to, prolong that a little bit. And I remember thinking, I want my kids to know the night sky better than I did, and I still didn't know it very well. And so I decided I was going to teach it to them. And at that time, there was a really dynamic homeschool group here in Fountain Hills. So I actually taught what I call naked eye astronomy, without having to have fancy instruments and stuff, to my kids and a group of about 20 homeschooled students and some of their parents who wanted to sit in and learn as well. So that's how I got started. And then I ended up in these two organizations. And I've also started my own website and a podcast called Night Sky Tourist.
Wow.
And so this kind of, I would never have guessed it. 10 years ago, I would never have thought this was my world. And now this is my entire world. It's really exciting.
Yeah. The night sky, the universe is truly magical. And I feel the more, I am personally interested in it as well. And I feel like the more one dives into it, you know, so to speak, the discoveries they're always discovering something new, and it's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And even just going outside and seeing a shooting star. I mean, who doesn't see a shooting star and go, oh, did you see that?
Right. Yeah.
Every
every time.
Exactly. They're so gorgeous, and we are so lucky to get to see those in Fountain Hills. But what specifically brought you to move to town?
Oddly enough, my husband had gotten a job here, and we were traveling to Fountain Hills and doing a lot of stuff here. And we finally decided, let's just move here. So I've been here in Fountain Hills for 25 years now.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah, and my kids, this is all they knew was Fountain Hills. They've both moved to Scottsdale now, but my kids grew up here.
Oh, wonderful. Good. It's a great place to grow up. So,
yeah.
What, more of kind of on a personal note, and I imagine you do, of course, a lot of stargazing for fun, but other personal activities that you like to enjoy?
Hiking. I love hiking.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody says that, but that's so true. And I've actually been partnering with the Sonoran Conservancy of Fountain Hills and leading some stargazing hikes. So once a month in the nice weather season, we do that at like the first quarter moon, because we want to be able to see the moon, but not have it so bright that we can't see the stars.
Uh-huh.
And so we do it at the first quarter, and it's amazing how bright the moon is when only half of it is lit, because I do the whole hike with everybody without a flashlight, because there's plenty of them having it. So we do a hike. I bring a laser pointer, which everybody, especially the guys, think, oh my God, it's so cool.
Of course.
And I'll point things out in the sky. I'll tell them about certain constellations, and I'll tell them like ancient cultural stories about some of the constellations. And then when we're done with the hike and we get back to the parking lot, my friends, there's a group of us, we're called the Star Dudes. They have their telescopes down there at the end of the hike, so people get to look through the telescopes. The Star Dudes are also over at Adero's Scottsdale Resort on Friday evenings out on the lawn. So if people come for dinner on Friday evenings up there, head out to the lawn because we have our telescopes set up. And it's really fun.
That is awesome. And how cool that you were able to combine two of your passions, right? Work and play.
Yes, I love it. And if anybody ever has a chance to go on a full moon hike, do that, because the full moon kind of washes out a lot of the stars, but there is no experience like that in the world. It's pretty magical.
Oh, I bet that's gorgeous.
I bet so.
How cool.
And is there a schedule where our viewers can look at those dates and find out when those full moons are and
Yeah, so I'm gonna push my website if you don't mind.
Yes, of course.
So go to nightskytourist.com. If you subscribe, I have a guide that I give to you for free, and it's what to see in the night sky broken down into each month of the year. So planets, meteor showers, different constellations, full moons, eclipses, whatever. It's all on there, and they can get that for free if they subscribe.
Wonderful.
How cool. So how can our business owners, our chamber members, get involved to support our dark skies? This is such a unique thing that Fountain Hills is able to do. So how do we get involved?
I would say that the first thing is to go outside of your business and take a look at the lights at night. And look to see if all of your lights are shielded. You shouldn't be able to see any of the bulbs. So make sure that all of those lights are shielded so that the light is pointed downward. A lot of times those lights that aren't shielded and they go up everywhere create so much glare. It actually keeps people from really seeing your business at night. When you shield it, now the light's not going in their eyes. They have the safety that they need to walk outside of your business, but then they can see your business.
Right.
And it's better for the wildlife, it's better for our health, and it keeps the light from scattering upward. And then also to make sure that your lighting is within town code. So within town code, your lights should be under a certain, what we call a color temperature. You can get all that information at the fhdarksky.com website, the Dark Sky Association. We have information on all of that there. So just look for those two things just to start with. There are other things you can do, but if you start right there, you've done a lot to help our community maintain our dark sky designation.
Great. And what are a few of those other things we can do? For example, for the Discovery Center, where do we learn about that, and how do we hopefully help that get on its way?
So the website for the International Dark Sky Discovery Center is darkskycenter.org. And you can go on there and see, we have a page that you can look at about different donation opportunities. We are also looking for, that high dollar amount. People can actually get their name on the different elements inside of there. So, for example, if you donated a certain amount, you could have your name over the observatory or the whole building. So there's that. And then all the way down to, we have what we call our launch crew, the people who are helping us fund the fundraising, so to speak. And so they can do that there. And of course, if you know somebody or know someone who knows someone, we do have materials that we can share. We have a really cool video brochure. When you open it up, a video starts playing. And so we can get that into people's hands if they know somebody that they think might really want to jump in a big way. We have all of those materials. They can just come to the website and reach out to us.
Wonderful. That's great. This is so exciting.
Yes, it is so exciting. And thank you so much for being a part of this episode and sharing with us today. That will wrap up episode 5 of season 2 of FountainCast. And once again, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Vicky, again, thank you. This was so much fun to learn about our Dark Skies Association, our Dark Skies Discovery Center, and what we can do to help. We are truly fortunate to be one of the few dark sky communities in the nation, and it was so fun to learn more. Don't forget to share our show with friends, neighbors, clients, anyone in your network. Remember, if you know somebody or know somebody who knows somebody, share this episode with them so they fall in love with our dark skies too. And for upcoming chamber events, you can join us next Saturday, December 3rd, for Stroll in the Glow. Bring the whole family and stroll through the Avenue of the Fountains from 5 to 8 p.m. to enjoy the town's holiday lighting, as well as goodies, games, and giveaways. We also have the exciting update of a brand new beer garden at Stroll in the Glow. I'm not sure if I'm actually allowed to reveal that news, so you're the first ones to hear it. And of course, Santa himself will be visiting Fountain Hills to hear your Christmas wishes and catch a photo with the kids. So next Thursday, be sure to join us as well for the Oasis Preschool ribbon cutting at 5 p.m. on Fountain Hills Boulevard. And be sure to check the Chamber website for more details on all of our upcoming events, or to request to do your own podcast, uniquely Fountain Hills episode, send us editions for the newsletter, and so much more. Thank you, Fountain Hills, for continuing to be the best community.
Thank you.